Superman over here.
I don't know who the hell I am today. I am Josh, and it's been a week. So yes,
It's been a week, and we need to, we gonna get right into these topics so Josh can get off, and he can make him a drink, and he can decompress, and he can be like, you know what? It's almost the weekend. We
right.
got this. So let's get into it. It's St. Patrick's Day. We got some pops of green going on, but I don't normally celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It is a day that I like going to the parades if I when I've gone to them, and I like to drink. Like, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, I'm gonna make a drink.
It's always been what I've done in the past, or we used to go to the parade and things like that, but never really understood the context of what it is. And
Exactly. And what's crazy is like how we get on people for celebrating like Black holidays and stuff like that, and then us as Black people be like, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, and this actually means something to Irish people, Irish Americans, Irish people. Like, this is their day, this is their culture. They celebrate, and I know you dug into it about like what the day really means if you kind of want to explain to the people, so then we all have a better understanding of what St. Patrick's Day is.
yeah, so historical context of the St. Patrick's Day is that St. Patrick's Day is the feast of St. Patrick. St. Patrick was actually a cultural and religious leader. So he was the foremost patron saint of Ireland in the 17th century. And in the early 17th century is when they started observing this. So yeah, throughout all these years, I never understood what St. Patrick's Day really was.
No.
I knew, it was something to do with being Irish. My grandmother told me a long time ago that my great grandfather was Irish. I don't know if that's true or not. You know how, Black folks are. You said we got Indian in there.
I got Indian in my family.
Pull up their damn ancestry kit and you're 89% nigga. And then, so great day to drink. Kudos to the Irish. I also learned that there's a North and South type of issue in Ireland about St. Patrick's Day. So one
Really?
side don't wear green. I don't know, but I'll look more into it to become more
Oh, I mean, I
informed.
did have my, I would have had my drink here, but I ran out of orange juice. But I did have two drinks, and I made them green. So, like, I guess that's like my way of like kudos to the Irish, right?
Right.
But anyways, getting into what's next, is the U-24 the new world order? And you probably be asking
Yeah.
yourself, what is the new world order, y'all? What is the U-24? So again, of course, we're always bringing you Russia and Ukraine news because that is an ongoing thing. Like, what were we, like day 23, week 3 by now?
Week 4,
Um,
but day 22, day
yeah.
22. Yep.
And so President Zelensky, who's the president of Ukraine, was before Congress this Wednesday, basically kind of giving like an update of what's going on in Ukraine, petition and position the United States and other countries to get involved more. He definitely was asking for them to shut down the airspace to Ukraine so that they can anticipate, Russians, ops and all those things. And they like, no, because that's going to put us into a war. And so, he was showing before and after pictures of different buildings and what they look like now. And leading into him wanting to position a new organization called the U-24, which is kind of like already what the United Nations is, but it's like involving all the countries, everybody in the world, basically. And it's kind of like this whole, when there's attack on one, there's an attack on all countries. Kind of like how NATO is, but just globally. And almost kind of like this new world order. He called it a world organization. And I know that could be very triggering for the Christian community when they hear, new world order or world organization. And, like if that's how it starts, and then it's gonna be like a world currency where it's just one type of currency. Like, so he was talking about all the things, right, Josh?
Yeah, so like Shay said, he addressed Congress on Wednesday and showed this video that was very touching. I actually
That
did, I was sad, and I don't care what color you are, I could empathize and sympathize with you and relate to anybody that's going through craziness, and to for us to be in this position where there's 3.1 million refugees that have fled Ukraine, fled their hometown. Babies have been killed, women have been killed, men,
Yeah.
people, just beautiful places in Ukraine that are destroyed by Russia. So I could empathize with that, and I feel, very bad that this happened. But he did get a standing ovation from our Congress. There were a couple of things within it, like Marjorie Green Taylor didn't clap, but she stood up.
Her ass.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's
It's
expected.
expected
That's
from her.
expected from her stupid.
Right. But this show of unity within the US, within the GOP, really is alienating one key person, and that's Trump, because really Trump stood with Putin not
Yeah.
a few
Good
weeks
point.
ago,
That's a good point. That's a really good
claiming that
point.
everything is good, and he thought Putin was a genius. If you remember us reporting on
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. I do.
does he feel like he's a genius now when he's murdering babies and making 3 million people flee their home from threat of tyranny, from destruction, from a
Right.
madman? So yeah, here we are, and we're giving more money, we're giving more military aid, but ultimately, what's going to happen is we're going to get pulled into this, and war is very messy, and
It
all
really
it
is.
is one particular instance of you stepping across the border, or someone getting killed. We're already seeing Americans actually are dying. American reporters from Fox News, one has died, a couple, maybe two have died, and one have injured. So Americans are dying now. So when are we going to get into this war? I don't want to get into this war. I would hope we don't.
Right. Because
But it's tied into,
that's a whole new level
yeah,
there.
it's tied into, like you said, the Bible times, and how people feel that way. But I'd like to say as well, it's someone made a statement like, well, were we in the end times when slaves were brought over here from Africa?
Right. Look, we've been in the end time since I was a little kid.
And
Okay.
put
Like
through and put through all those years and the torture that we've experienced as humans on this planet. So I think the end times have always been here, and the end times are perpetuated by our actions as human beings, not being capable or accepting of our brothers and sisters, and coming to the table and just trying to have peace. That's what the I kind of feel like that's what the Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech is all about. It's the beauty of what the world can be versus what we're currently dealing with.
right.
So that being said, yeah, New World Order, where we are right now,
Right.
crazy. President Biden is heading to Brussels next week to meet with, European leaders about the war. So
Hmm.
another leader in this. And then Shay, what did we say earlier about, like, here we are,
Well, I was gonna
all this
touch
money.
you
Yeah,
made you said something I can't specifically remember
yeah,
what you said, but it triggered a thought. And we didn't have it in the lineup, but it's it made me think about last week when we were talking about, like, when it comes to um black people and how, like, they don't care, right? And I think I sent you the
oh, you
TikTok.
did. Yeah,
And then she was making a really good point, and if you don't know that Russia is the largest import for wheat.
it is.
The largest import for wheat. And because they're the largest import for wheat ain't coming out of Russia because we got sanctions.
Yeah,
And you may say, oh, it's not impacting me. It has nothing to do with me. But I don't know about you, but there's a lot of wheat in a lot of stuff that we eat over
yeah,
here in America. And, as you can see, rising I'm not gas prices, food prices
yeah,
have gone up. Europe gets so much. I mean, these countries that get a lot of their wheat, their gas from Russia are struck. Like, this could lead to famine if this gets worse. And I don't know if you know what a famine is or what that could look like, but major, major food shortages. And it's like, this does affect us.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
African countries actually as well get
it
their
affects
food from
us
Russia.
and it affects other countries. And you can say all day how you don't give a damn about another country. Like, that's human beings who have no effort, they are not even a part of any of this, and they're
Yeah,
impacted. And that's just this humanity. That's just being human. It's like, I don't want to see that for you. That's having empathy for somebody. And so it just made me think of that thought. But as you was getting into, you know, Biden, you know, heading over to Brussels, you know, giving Ukraine another $800 million with ease.
Yeah, with ease.
By the way, with ease. And I know Josh was talking about it earlier. Tupac. They got money for war but can't feed the poor. And it's like, you know, again, it's one of those things that two things can be true at the same time. It's like, you know, like Ukraine needs help, right? I get it. But I find it very interesting how these type of things, when it comes to y'all just pulled $14 billion out y'all ass, y'all done pulled another $800 million out y'all ass, and was just like, here you go. Like, so, like if I say, oh, you got a pen, and I'm like, oh, here you go. Like I just with ease. This was so easy. It wasn't me going like, you know what? Like, you know, when you do a homeless person, they ask you for $1, you're like, hey man, brother, let me I mean, let me check my pot. Exactly. That's how the US be doing this.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, and it's just crazy that we have to put these things in like music and movies and things like that to make a message, but it's true and it's factual.
Yeah.
How can we be so willing to write a check for $14 billion for, not saying we shouldn't, because we should always help anyone that needs help. But then you turn around in the same country and there's little kids that are hungry, or there's black kids or any kid that's poor in lower, you know, communities that don't have the books that they need, or the scholarships to go to college.
We can't pass nothing on healthcare.
Give us some gas subsidies.
Gas subsidies. We ain't got reparations. Y'all say, oh, we don't. Reparations going to cost so much money, but y'all didn't pull $14 billion out your ass. Where does this come from?
Yeah. It's just it's sad. So they got money for war, but can't feed the poor.
Can't feed the poor.
Through in 2022, and you and I talk about this all the time. Like, when are we as a people, as a country, as a nation, as a globe, a world, when are we going to wake up? Like, we only get one planet, and we only get one life. And look, I feel like Eminem. You only
get one life. So now,
right? Look, somebody cue the goddamn music.
Comes knocking up like Josh out here telling us we gotta lose ourselves.
Exactly. But you only got one life, one planet, and we are killing it. We're killing each other. You know, plagues and all this stuff is true. So it's like, is it the end of times? I don't know, but it's getting pretty goddamn muddy around here.
It is.
And you and I, all of you watching, anyone that may watch later, we have to do the work to make this planet better for all of us. And it has to start with peace. And hopefully peace comes into Russia and Ukraine. And I don't know if Putin has to be dethroned, because that's what he is. He acts like he's a king. And I don't know how that is, you know, gonna happen. I'm not.
Well, you know, Lindsey Graham is still standing by his threat that he
really
might take.
They should be killed.
Yeah, he doubled down on that.
But is he wrong? I'm not the judge and jury of that. But is he wrong for saying that? Here's this man authorizing people to be killed, and babies to be killed, and women to be killed daily. And should he still remain alive?
Right.
We'll see.
Exactly. So we'll keep you updated as these things move forward. Because it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot, y'all. It is. We gotta wake up but you know, maybe we'll have another discussion and have you guys come on.
Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping.
No. So, in positive Black news, though, the SCOTUS confirmation hearing is coming up on Monday. Listen, I'm hoping her confirmation go through with ease, but I know how them Republicans do. They didn't sit here and got it all. together and coming, standing in camaraderie and just unified with this whole wretched thing. And then come Monday, they're gonna be like, just split.
We're gonna see, but we're gonna hold them to the wire. And I say to any GOP Republicans that may be watching, they're not watching, but if you watch,
hey, you don't know.
If you're watching, know that we're gonna hold you to the wire, and the same smoke that you try to give Miss Judge Kataji Brown Jackson is the same smoke you had gave Amy Coney Barrett and all them, or you're gonna be called out for being racist.
Exactly.
Because that's what racism looks like in 2020. So.
Exactly. So I'm excited for that. Like, I can't wait to see, where she gets confirmed and then gets, sworn in. That's just going to just be very historic. And it's like, again, that is just like all the Black girl magic right there.
It is. Daylight savings time, permanent bill passed Senate. So
another bill that's getting passed with fucking ease.
Hey, I guess that's all we get from it is that no more daylight savings time. Hopefully, and I don't know. I think I get bothered by daylight savings time more when we lose the sleep versus gaining. But when we gain this hour, or it just seems like the day goes by faster. So I really don't give a damn whether they keep it or not. But it does seem silly to just even have it. So it did pass the Senate. It now has to go to the House where they have to vote on it. And then if they vote on it, which it may pass, I think it will. And then it just goes to the president's desk for a signature. And then that would stop. So we wouldn't go through this going forward. So we'll let you know when that shit passes.
Easy. Isn't that easy? He's like, oh, we're going to do the daylight savings time bill. Then the Crown Act is still sitting on the desk, where Black women are being discriminated against because of their natural hair, and it's like, we're gonna just have this on the desk.
They got that thermometer that they put up to everything. Is this gonna affect the Black people positively? Nah.
We'll push that off to 2023.
Is this gonna be a generational curse in wealth problems? Yes, it will. Oh, let's not pass that shit. So,
but the daylight saving times, like
easy
peasy. Speaking of easy peasy,
that's your friend. I don't know. That's your friend.
I don't know why they correct me. Speaking of easy peasy, Juicy Smollett. He is no longer Jesse. He's always forever going to be Juicy Smollett. Thank you, Dave Chappelle, for giving us that name, because this is just comedy gold. But as you guys know, that Juicy was found guilty for the crime that he did. It was a class 4 felony. And the judge in that case spent like a whole 35 minutes talking about like how he just did all the things and, manipulated and lied and all that stuff. So he gave him 150 days in jail. So of course, Juicy had like an outburst, like, I'm not crazy. If I die, like I didn't kill myself, this huge outburst, and they walked him out of jail. Walked him into jail. Well, this week, he is now out. Well, he went to a psych ward because he, they wanted to watch him, and he wasn't eating, he was drinking water and, and ice. And then his attorney was able to get him out, because they are filing an appeal for his conviction. And here in Illinois, if you are sentenced to, I think it's like less than a year, depending on what the felony is, you can get out on bail while you are fighting your conviction. And so that's what happened to Juicy. And so, but the thing that blows me about Juicy is that he is still maintaining that he did not do this. And I'm just like,
that was crazy.
Who did it, Juicy?
That outburst in court was crazy though.
Now his attorney made a quote saying, should a Black man be sentenced to 150 days in jail for a class 4 felony? I don't know. We can have that conversation. Saying, was it, did the crime fit the time? How that saying go? I mean, we can have that conversation all day long, but Juicy out here acting like he didn't do what he did. Like, I mean, the evidence was just kind of, it was there. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man, really?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Juicy, because and because I think eventually he's going to end up serving his time. I think Chicago, I think they're just really fed up with him. But I do know there has been, stars coming to his defense. I know Taraji P. Henson has come to his defense, and people are almost side eyeing her, like, really? Like,
Yeah.
what you trying to say? Like, but I'm like, Juicy, you did this. Like, just own it,
He did.
take responsibility, and be like, all right, like,
Yeah.
I'm
No,
good.
he did it. And then on top of that, like, I mean, I would settle. He don't have to go to jail. This is what I would settle for, because this is what Juicy needs. Juicy needs to be bent over somebody's grandma's lap, and he needs a spanking. And he needs one of those spankings that you get when you've been talking in church while the pastor was talking, and your grandma done told you 3 times to shut up. And so to get you, yeah, that's the kind of spanking he needs. And I would settle for that. I was like, Juicy got a good spanking. I'm
That's
good
what
with
I'm
it
saying.
now.
Like, come on, man. Like,
He
you out
don't do
here
that no more.
lying. You just sit here saying that they you
Gay
went
and black.
at 3 o'clock in the damn morning to go grab a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
Who, first of all, who wakes up craving Subway at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Not a goddamn me.
Who? I mean, who wakes up at 3 o'clock and then say, I'm gonna go ahead and walk
Being Juicy.
to Subway? And then you didn't plan yourself to get robbed, and they threaten you, calling you all homophobic slurs, and go Trump. Why would they even say go Trump? Like, Juicy.
Yeah, I can
I'm
imagine
okay.
him.
I would be okay if they just like, you know what, you got to do community service. You gonna have to spend like at least 3 nights in jail, like something. Like, you got to do something, brother. Like you gotta own it. That's what you got to do. You got to own it.
He got to own it. And he had a damn R. Kelly outcry. And, that's the same. When you guilty, you cry like that.
Exactly.
But I'm tired of that shit, man. That's that R. Kelly bullshit.
You know what you made me think about?
What?
When that fool had that outburst and they accused him of talk behind the person. He's like, I don't even know how to hold time. I don't know how to hold time.
Okay.
Like, R. Kelly, shut your ass up.
They're guilty.
But you're guilty, Juicy.
Right.
You're guilty, Juicy.
Guilty.
So yeah, well, I don't know if we'll ever report back on that. Like, I don't know. It's Juicy Smollett. Unless Dave Chappelle come up with something even funnier about this, then yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
But so we have about like another 30 minutes of the show, and we kind of wanted to dedicate it around like all the Black people come around to the table. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation about some things, because this is, I would say, over the course, like not even just the course of the last couple of weeks, me and Josh are always having conversations about things when it comes to us as Black people, our culture, just things that we are unhappy with, things that we're happy about, that that we're passionate about, and things that we're just kind of like, why the fuck are we doing this? And what triggered the conversation for me this week is having a conversation about just like Black excellence, and just when it comes to customer service. And I follow a lot of hair groups. I'm in a lot of hair groups. I see a lot of TikToks, and I'm watching these videos of like Black women when it comes to them even trying to book an appointment, and just how it's different from when they went to this place over here, or when they go to this restaurant over here, or when they go to this store over here, and how when it comes to Black people, it's like always like this attitude or just this negative energy or whatever, and that's why they go. So they make that. Well, that's why I go over here to the white people, because the white people got structure. It's easy. It's not the attitude, and it's like all the things that triggered this conversation. And I was asking Josh, like, what is it when it comes specifically like to things like customer service? Let's just start with that, where we've all had an experience. I even had one today. With this attitude, like, what's the attitude about? Like the lady, I'm like being nice. I'm just like, hey, I'm trying to return these 2 items to your UPS. And she's like, oh, you need a label for this? And I'm like, actually, I don't need a label for this. I've never needed one. it's a packageless return. Like she was like, oh, you need a box, and I'm like, it says it's a packageless return. I don't need a box. I had to come home, get the box. Luckily I stayed a very short distance away, and when I come back, it was just like, you need a label. And I'm like, well, I don't need a label. I've never had to need a label. And she just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you need a label. And I'm like, okay, but I'm trying to tell you, like, I've done this multiple times and I don't need a label. Like this one, I need a label for because it said I need to print the label and put the other thing in the box. This one just said I need to print it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the scan it. That's it. And she gave me so much attitude. Until finally I was, she was like, okay, I can do this one. I said, and I gave her the other box and I was like, okay, you're gonna do this one too. And she's like, so what, you want me to sit it on the shelf? And you want me to call you when they don't pick it up? And I'm like, so if you want to just scan this barcode right here, because like I'm pretty sure as soon as you scan it, it's gonna pop up all the information. And of course, when she scanned it, it popped up all the information. And so then she kind of had like this dumb look on her face. And I'm kind of like, and I, didn't get an attitude with her back, kept it professional, gave her a smile, told her have a great day. But then on my way out, I'm just kind of like, even if you didn't, and even I asked like with somebody else here, she was like, no, I ain't, it's just me. Like, now what? Like she wanted to say, like, now what, bitch? It's just me. Right. And I was kind of like, what's with the attitude? Why you gotta have all this attitude? I'm just trying to ship a package. But then it triggered all these other interactions that I've had with either a black woman or black man and like just customer service. And it's like this attitude, or just like, I don't know if they just don't want to do their job, or they just like, I don't know if that's just their personality, but it's just like, even in the hair, don't even get me started on the hair side of things, trying to book an appointment, because it is, oh my God.
Yeah, no, service is definitely something that I care very much about, and I will travel to distance to get good service. And I don't know, I hate to say this because I don't like the stereotypes and things like that, because it's not always true, because
Right.
there are some good black establishments that they're clean, they cook very well, I mean, they're good people. But then there are just some establishments, you get to the um, take your order, or what can I get for you? And you just know instantly it's an attitude. And then you go out to the one in Overland Park, Kansas, or "Hi, thank you for welcoming McDonald's. This is how can I help you? But literally, and you like, you know what? I would like everything, because you're just so
Oh
nice.
yeah, there's a place I don't go there anymore, but there's this place here called Red Snapper. Oh my God, they have like the best catfish.
They got this over here off of Wood
And
Parkway. Yeah.
no, not that. It's not that Red Snapper. I know what Red Snapper you're talking about,
Oh,
because
okay.
that's my spot right there. That's the Thai Red Snapper. No, this is
Oh,
like
okay.
a franchise.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
called Red Snapper, and they
Okay.
show like all type of stuff, like
Oh,
catfish, chicken, pizza puffs, all that.
oh wow.
Um,
It's black
but
owned, or black? The black? Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it's like black owned because it's franchised, and so a lot of different people can own it. But I know with this particular one that I was going to, it was a lot of black people that worked there, and but one of the reasons, like, it was a couple of reasons why I stopped going there. One was because of the customer service, and the second one was that the dude tried to jip me out my money, and so I had to go get a return. But the girl who, when you call and answer the phone, she's like, Red Snapper, and I'm like, oh, can I order this? She's like, okay, what else? Like hurry up, like what else you want? And like, like I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah.
And then when I get there, it's like, okay, that's gonna be 14, whatever, like that. Like, we cash the card. And I'm like, she like the head things, the rolling of the eyes. I'm like, card? And then to the point, I'm just like, no, I am done receiving this type of attitude. I mean, it's not gonna, I'm not coming to this location. I don't even know where the other location's at. But I'm just like, I'm not coming to this location anymore. I don't like the customer service. I don't like the girl's attitude. But it's just like, I'm always confronted with so much attitude. And I'm like, for what? Why? What's going on, black people? Why are we like this? Why are we like this?
It is. Why are we like this? And I don't know. And
it's not to say that other people aren't like this. I'm not saying like, it's just very interesting. We just bringing up the conversation because like
Yeah.
I hear people talk about it, especially in the hair community because I'm just in there and just like just the different things that they set in place when it comes to booking an appointment and all this other stuff and all these rules and then it's like an attitude with it and it's like I said what I said, like you can, and I'm like, where's the professionalism? What I'm saying? I get it, like great for you that you got your own business and everything, but like I really I even thought about like teaching classes on customer service and professionalism as a small business because I feel like when it comes to Black people, when it comes to owning and, getting into business for ourselves, that was never an option for us, back in the day. And it was very hard for us to get into being entrepreneurs and getting bank loans and all these different things. And so, there's probably a lot of things that we missed along the way, like we're a little late getting to the party. But it's like now that we're here, it's like let's be excellent. I'm not asking you to be perfect, but let's be excellent in everything that we do, that we give excellent customer service and that we doing our and if you don't like your job, I get it. You don't like your job, but what did I do for you to shit on me today? Like why did like and I don't, I see it all the time and I'm just like always just like we can do better, Black people. I want us to do better. I get tired of hearing people say, "Oh, that's why I go here and that's why I go there." I hate hearing it. And I've never said that. I've never been that like, oh, I'm gonna go over here to the white man because the white man did this better. And I've never been that person, and never will be.
Oh, I am now. Call me a house nigga. I don't care.
It was the shimmy for me.
Because I'm going over there to get some good Popeyes or some good food or I'm gonna travel, and until we do right by our people, until I could see a change in our people, because even when you do get bad service and you try to address it, and you say it, it could turn into a whole big situation that gets carried out.
I've seen those videos. The Waffle House is a great example.
Right,
when you hear the Waffle House for Black people, they like if it ain't dirty, grungy, greasy, and you ain't got the person in the back, looking like this, then you ain't at a good Waffle House. And I'm like, I don't want that.
I don't. You can keep that.
And that's not even a Black thing. That's just like a sanitary
anywhere.
Thing. I want to walk into an establishment and be like, if I see some stuff is greasy everywhere and it look greasy, like, no, but I'm like, no, I don't want to hear. But there is a reputation or the stereotype that when Black people have business, like restaurants per se, there's like these cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna cut corners to maximize our profit, and then it's like y'all cutting the wrong corners. Y'all can't be cutting corners with the cleanliness now, or just even when again, I think it goes into classes and business practices. When I lived in Tulsa, there was this restaurant. It was Black owned. It was called, oh my God. It was a place where I got my wings. They had the best wings. It was like literally around the corner from my house. I could walk there. And so unprofessional. But I could stick with the unprofessional because they were like a nice, but it was like their practice of the business was just unprofessional. They was never rude or anything. It was just like going in there and they was always out of chicken. It's like, how y'all just open? Like I would go there like at 11 o'clock when they open and I'm like, oh, we out of chicken, come back in 2 hours. I'm like, so did nobody, how many restaurants I've been to that was Black owned, they were out of food? And I'm like, y'all just open. And so it's like things like that where I can see where people are kind of like, see, this is why I say this. But it's kind of like, okay, we got to do better, people. And I'm the mindset like, okay, y'all could do better. Like even I remember when I first started dating David and I was going to this restaurant and I was inside the restaurant and the owner told the employee, go get your money out your bank because they about to pull it and you're going to be in overdraft. I used your account to pay for such and such. And I'm like, how you the owner used her bank account to pay for whatever and it's going to overdraft her account. So you having her rush to go get her money out the bank so it don't overdraft. That's what I'm talking about. Like, why should I even know that as a customer? Why are y'all even talking about that in front of me?
Right. Crazy.
So I'm just like, but and then it's even more. Just even I know Josh, you had alluded to it earlier, was before we started recording. Just like are we woke? Are we? What are we doing? Where are we at, Black people? Like where are we at?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy, and I bring to the table just this aspect of, when I woke up this morning, I sat on the side of the bed. I was very thankful to be alive, of course, because any day that you wake up on this side of the world or this side of the equation is a day to be blessed and to be joyful about. But sometimes those days are hard, and 24 hours to have a good day or a bad day. But every 24 hours is a new day, and blessed to see it. So, very thankful. I came into this office, and I have a work from home job that's 50% out in the field after COVID and 50% inside. I get paid nice money. Great manager, and still I am yearning for something. Something is missing, and I just wanted to talk about being fulfilled.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I'm okay. I'm doing okay for myself to be 35, and where I'm at is not where I want to be fully, but I'm not struggling, and I should be grateful, right? And
Right.
thankful, and I am, but I'm not fulfilled. And fulfillment comes more than your materialistic, things, what you have in the bank. It's what do you do? What do your soul feels good at night when you go to sleep? When you wake up in the morning, your soul is happy, and not just your face is smiling, because it's two different things. You can smile all day, but your
Mm-hmm.
inner core, your inner person could just be diminished. So I just, and Shay even talks about this all the time, we all have to wake up and choose each day what if it's going to be a good or bad day. And people say, no, my day is bad because this happened to me, or no, but this happened to you, but you allowed it to affect you to a point to
Mm-hmm.
where your day is bad and good. And so I say all this to say being fulfilled is very important. And so for me, I am now out in the work search field again, looking for another job, and I'm like, I gotta get something. I gotta get this from another job. I need this from another job. When really what I need is for me to be free and to be open, and to allow this ray of goodness and God's grace and energy to flow. I need all of that stuff. I want to wake up every day and say, oh, I'm gonna go do this for the homeless, or I'm gonna go do this for kids that don't have anything, or oh, I
Right.
want to come on the podcast with Shay and talk about things that are important. Those are things that are fulfilling. So I just bring this up to say, what are you doing in your life? Are you just getting by? Are you waking up every day like I did, and you're saying, fuck, I have to go to work. Fuck, oh, all day.
You just literally just
Puffing and puffing. Are you living like that? Then maybe ask yourself, what will fulfill me? What will fulfill us? And Shay talks about this, and she talks about the affirmations and being intentional, with yourself in the universe and putting out there what you want. And we have to do that. We have to do that because the universe doesn't know what to give us, and we have been given power from God, from the universe, from to anything that we could conceptualize in our mind, we can attain. But we have to first what claim it and proclaim it. Otherwise, it's not ours. And Shay, I would just want you to just like touch on that, because
I
like
thought you were going to
you
say,
helped
Shay,
me, huh?
I thought you were going to say something preachy.
Okay, I need you to say, I need you to
You sound like
touch
one of them
hands
preachers, and like
and
let me
in
turn it over.
agreement. Touch hands in agreement with me, sister. Impressionist.
Yeah. So, we've transitioned into this conversation because this is definitely on Josh's heart right now.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like I'm totally in agreement. Like, waking up with feeling fulfilled, and I can personally say, like, in my last job, I was waking up and I was not feeling fulfilled. I was waking up very irritated, attitude, and working extra hard to maintain a very positive attitude. It definitely played a role in, I feel like, just my depression and just, how that was making me feel and just all the other things that was going on. And I just didn't feel fulfilled. I wasn't doing what I enjoy doing. I like leading. I like managing teams. I like, empowering people. I like coaching, all those things. And, I wasn't doing that in my last job. And I wasn't getting, paid what I wanted to get paid. And so I really had to take action. I really had to be intentional and that I'm the creator of my life. Right. And like Josh said, once I put it out there to the universe, and if you've never read The Alchemist is a really good book to read. But once you put it out there in the universe works to get you everything that you're asking for. And, and I really wholeheartedly believe that. And, and I feel like even as us, as Black people, and, pull this all together, it's like we could come together, get on one accord and proclaim what we want to see, not only for us, because it can't just be about us, but to see fairness throughout this country. Because we're, like Josh said, we have one world, there's one nation, there's one life, there's one planet. And it's just like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? How are we waking up every day and being intentional and saying to ourselves, this is what I can contribute? Like, you wake up like with no effort on your own. With no effort on your own, you wake up every day you had no part in that, right? The universe like, okay, you're gonna live another day. And what are we doing with our days? How are we wasting it? How are we being intentional? How are we making a difference? I know that my goal in life, my purpose in life is to provoke people to think about themselves differently, to see themselves as a gift, to see that they have purpose and they have meaning, and then helping them and empowering them to see that, own that, and then be that. Like, I know that's what I love to do, and I get to do that. And that's why I love doing this podcast with Josh, is because we get to, use our voices, use this platform to speak to you guys and to whoever else is listening, to provoke you guys to think about the way you're showing up in this world, thinking about the things that's happening to, all of us, and how we can be a part and, use our voices and resources and all the things to be better and to do better. And, I know some of the stuff you guys probably be like, oh, well, like that really does have nothing to do with me. But it's like, it does. Like, we're all in this world together. And when you really take a step back and really think about that you're like a living being, you exist in a world that is like just this speck in the universe, you know what I'm saying? Because we ain't gonna get into us all out there, but we're alive and we can talk, we can see, we can move, we got style, we got personality, we got words, we got flavor, we got all this stuff. And it's just like, we can use all that, come together and like be better and bring about change. And that's just like my goal. And I know that's definitely Josh's goal. And that's why we're like, Black people, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? How are we growing? How are we being better? All these things that just, come through in our community, and just, us as a people. And I say Black people because, that's who, if I had to prioritize, anybody's going to be my own people first, and who I'm going to talk to and reach out to. So it's like, what are we doing? How are we being better? How can we be better? How can we come on one accord to bring about change, and to, use our strength, our power, our voices, our words, our resources to see the things that we want to see. And I feel like right now we're not on one accord. it's like we're saying black power, we're saying black excellence and black girl magic. And, you know, we're like, I was
Black
telling
Lives
Josh, we're like
Matter.
that family where people see us and they like, oh my God, like my family, this is the example I use my family as an example. On the outside, people look at my family and be like, oh my God, you guys are so close. Like y'all play cards, y'all, you know, when I was living in Kansas City, like y'all got Sunday dinners, y'all playing cards, y'all just look so happy. When realize it's like, I call my mama Karen. We have no relationship. None. Relationships are broken within my family. There's arguing, there's fighting. We're a mess right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not a close family. It may look like it. And so I say that like for black people as a, you know, they see us and they're like, oh my God, they're like black excellent. But it's like there's so many fractures, there's so many things that we need to overcome and need to change and to, you know, to implement. And I'm just like, we gotta be better people. Like we have to. We gotta do better. And I want us to do better. And I want us to be excellent in all the things. Even if you work at Popeyes on Truce, like
Make it
be
the best batch of chicken every goddamn time.
and like, you know what, I actually told this to, I did had to do a review of my new job, and I had to do a review for a girl. I only known her, I've only been there 2 weeks, and I had to do a review on her, and I only did the review on the 2 weeks that I've been there. And she told me, you know, she's a black woman, and she told me like, you know, like I was like, what's your goals for the next, you know, for this next month? She's like, I ain't got no goals. Like this is just a job. Like I'm like, she was honest. Like she was very transparent. Like this is
Yeah.
a job for me. You know, like I'm just here to do a job. And I feel like there's a lot of people right now like this job means nothing to me because I have this on the well, I have this other lane that I want to do. She's an artist, she sings, she
Yeah.
draws, she does all these things. She wants to be an entrepreneur, she wants to open up
Oh,
her own
let's
spa one
do
day.
it.
Amazing
Yeah.
goals, right?
Yeah.
But and she's like, because I'm not doing that now, I can give a damn about this job I'm at right now. And I said, you know what? Can I challenge you real quick? And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah. And I'm like, so I believe in the law of attraction. I do believe that. I believe like what I put out, it comes back to me. And even though I did not like being at Gordon, my last job, I showed up to work with integrity. I made sure I did the job that I was supposed to do because they're paying me to do the role that I'm doing. And I said, and I want to have that. I want to have that good karma come back to me. And I said, you as a future business owner who wants to have her own spa, right? You want people that's going to come work for you, that's going to be, who's going to see the vision, you know what I'm saying, who's about your business, and you don't want it to just be a job for them, right? Like, and I get it. Sometimes it is just a job. But even if it's just a job and you trying to get to, you know, this just show kind of like your marker before you get to the bigger goal. It's like, well, I'm in this position. I'm gonna make sure I have integrity. I'm gonna make sure I show up on time. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing the work that's supposed to be done because you know what I'm saying, I expect that of my employees when I have my own business. And I gotta be the example.
Yeah.
And after that conversation, I'm like, so what are your goals this month? She's like, you know what? She gave me 3 goals. And I think, and so it's like, that's what we gotta be, people.
Yeah. No. And I agree with that. Goals are important, and that's kind of was my point of being intentional, putting your goals out there, and ultimately being fulfilled. Is just has to be the goal for everyone. And if I don't know. I refuse to be my grandparents or my parents, or I think that they could understand what I'm saying without thinking I'm disrespecting. Like, your goal for your kids would have to be for them not to have to work as hard as you had to, or
Right.
struggle as hard as you've had to struggle. I
Because there's
don't
so much
want.
more opportunities made
Yeah,
available to us
yeah.
now.
I don't want to, be working until I'm 70 or 60. I know I may have to, but I don't want to. I want to be secure in myself enough to say that I can walk away from working for someone to working for myself. And, you know, I also challenge people to say, what type of what would be the perfect reality for you? What would be the perfect nation for you? What do you think and when we think of all the good things that could happen in our lives, and the things that are going wrong right now in our country, how do you feel like you can add to making the country better? And that's by sharing, your perspectives on things, and engaging, and listening to others when there's not, a different perspective and idea than you have, and not, being berating and nasty towards your brother and your sister. Looking at your brother and sister with compassion. That doesn't mean you have to be dumb and allow people to walk over you and be stupid. But that also just means that we said earlier, humanity. Where is your humanity, people? And that extends into even when we say violence in our community. We are still seeing people in Kansas City dying by gun violence because there's no compassion for your brother and your sister. You cannot look at another person that looks like you and think that they are your enemy. That is poisoning thinking in your brain. Now,
It's the value. It's like a lot of people don't
yeah,
see the value in human life.
exactly. That doesn't mean that you don't still be cautious and you don't still have your guard up, because people can hurt you.
Right.
But
And
you have
circumstances
to
happen to people that
open.
force them to do things
You
that,
have to open it up.
yeah.
Yeah. So
And so I just think that people
do
don't
better.
do better and value one another, value life.
Yeah.
Like I get it, but it's like we got to do better. And my hope, and I know our hope is that we as Black people can do better. We can, and I'm pretty sure we've been all over the place with this conversation. But I hope you got what we got our hearts.
Yeah, this is what a podcast is about. Like diving into deep conversations, and some of the things are not even scripted. But when we can have open, honest conversation, and then think, get you to think differently is what we want, and that's the goal at the end of the day. And we hope that you can
We
engage
provoke you to
with us,
think differently.
engage with engage with us. And if you have a different idea, we open to come and talk about those ideas
Yeah.
and those perspectives. We may not have seen everything the way that you see it, and you could show us in a different light, and we're always open to being woke, if you get what I mean. So we're on that moment because we choose to be woke. And I don't mean that woke in
Hotel.
horrible hotel California type woke, like woke as in I understand my purpose of uh, to change lives, and we hope to do that in this experience. So
Yes. Well, hopefully we provoked you guys to think differently about who you are and why you are here, and for you to show up,
yeah,
and to be better. And we all, and that's not just you, that's all of us, each and every
right.
one of us, ourselves included. So, but we've come to the end of it all, and
Yeah.
it's been great. I feel like I
To
like this.
the end of the road.
Give us the vocals, Josh.
So I can.
Yeah,
I
y'all
don't
know
have
Josh, you
anything.
should be in a group.
Used to be, yeah. I feel like I'm David Ruffin or something. Like I used to really be the man, and then I want to say,
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Josh.
right. What was the song? What's the big song? What was the words of that first one? They all out in the oh no,
You talking about the 5 heartbeats?
Oh yeah, is that what it is? Okay,
You mixed it up, the Black movies.
Yeah, I get Black movies mixed up. But what was it? A heart is not as a home for love.
You talking about when he was out in the rain, his little blue thing?
Or no, I think when they were singing on stage, and it's a heart. This is another example. As said last week when we were talking about what's that show that man?
Good Times.
Yeah, I ain't never seen Good Times.
When you say a heart, I'm thinking of the 5 heartbeats. He's like, a heart is a house.
Yes.
For love.
There it is.
And I've learned that it don't take much.
Yes.
That's the song right there.
It is.
Give it up, give it up, give it up. Ooh, ooh, yeah. See, now you got me to watch his power.
I know. They turn on Cardi B up and start popping his ass. It's be a whole different show with this mom.
Well, all right, guys. We will see you guys next
Red
Thursday.
light
Until
special coming up next. Join me live.
you know what, you're going to go do the rest of your night, and we'll see you guys
Bye.
next week. Bye.